Hi guys, it's another day in Turkey. We're doing a tour of some sites around Cappadocia. It's pretty hot, so we'll see where we go and what we get up to.
Good morning, cute cat. Good morning. What a cutie.
The Cappadocia region is famous for its many unique and varied landscapes. The soft volcanic rock has been shaped by both man and nature into towers, cones, valleys, caves, and even churches and monasteries. This area has also been inhabited by people from as far back as the 12th century before Christ. With so many places to see and only a few days set aside for tours, I already knew there was no way we could see all of these locations with the limited time we had. So my goal was just to see as many sites on the list as possible for the lowest price. We ended up choosing this Daily Blue tour by Trivago, which according to the description included these sites. When we made our booking, this tour was €25 per person, or 37 Canadian dollars each. Now as I make this video, I can see that the price has already doubled. We were the first people to be picked up for our tour. We spent about another hour driving around to hotels all over the region, picking up other people until our van was full. Our first stop on the tour was Cavusin, an old Greek village where we looked around at stone homes that had been decorated with traditional furniture.
A lychee tree, he said. Smells good.
Oh, we have some missing.
Next, we continued on for a short hike of Rose Valley, named for its pink rock formations. Here is where I ran into my first problem. While taking pictures and walking along the trail, I lost a piece of my camera equipment. We backtracked a little bit and retraced our footsteps, but it was nowhere to be found. Note for the future, always make sure that your stuff is well secured when hiking or walking around. Now, our tour group was getting back into the van to go on to our next destination. There's sort of this unspoken rule taking place where everyone is getting back into the seats that they were sitting in before. Every single person, except for one couple that sat down in the seats that we had been using. Normally, I wouldn't actually care about something like this, but at the time I was pregnant in my second trimester and my belly was starting to get bigger to the point that it was pressing into my legs.
Has your belly gotten bigger as we...
Yeah.
The seats that this couple had left us with had much less legroom and no air conditioning vent over top. Our next destination was about 45 minutes drive away, so that made my experience a lot more uncomfortable. In the future, I'd recommend trying to save your seat by leaving behind an inexpensive sweater or jacket or bag or something. Not a guarantee that this will work, but it's at least something to try. I was most excited for our next destination, the Underground City. There are cities here that are so vast they could house tens of thousands of people and extend many floors beneath the surface. But when we got there, touring the city was actually a very frustrating experience.
Quickly, please. Quick as possible, please. More coming.
There were so many tour groups packed inside such a small place. Frequently, we would try to go on to the next section of the cave, but then be blocked by an oncoming tour group who was trying to exit. Since we can't go around each other, one group is forced to backtrack.
Should we go back?
Is it almost there? Is there a lot? Hay bastante.
Maybe go back there. We're giving up.
Add into the mix that everyone is speaking a different language, and things got chaotic to say the least. It really made me wonder, how did the thousands of people who actually lived here manage to do it?
If you are not Muslim, you are not worried about the drinking wine. And they made and they drink wine.
More stone door.
Closing slightly, perfect camouflage from outside. You will not understand that there's a hole here. But from inside, you need it.
The actual city itself also looked nearly identical to the rock town under Uchisar Castle that we had explored just yesterday, except this time overpacked with people. I guess I was expecting something different and more impressive since it was called a city, but it was pretty much the same, except way, way, way more crowded. My future takeaway: have realistic expectations about visiting a tourist site, especially at peak hours, on peak season, and while on a group tour. If possible, try to come on your own, or maybe check out sites that aren't part of the tour company stops. Next, it was time for lunch. We had been having some amazing food experiences while in Turkey. I was excited to see what kind of food we'd be getting. Well, it turns out this restaurant was more like a cafeteria. The food was buffet style, and I would describe it as mediocre. Not bad, but definitely nothing memorable. Once again, there were lots of crowds from tour buses and tour vans stopping and just loading and unloading people, but our disappointing lunch had a silver lining. After eating our meal, we took a walk around the rest of the property, and look at what we discovered. The view from this back patio is actually amazing. Honestly, if I'd eaten my lunch out here, I probably would have been raving about how amazing this place was. We should have checked all the seating areas first before sitting down. Future, don't set such high expectations for a lunch included with the tour, and remember to try and take it all in before dismissing something. If we hadn't checked that back patio, we would have really missed out on a gorgeous view. After lunch, we went around to see a few more viewpoints of the region. This stunning view of Uchisar Castle, Pigeon Valley, and then a carpet weaving shop and jewelry store. We never did make it to Red Valley, but it did start raining pretty hard during the day of our tour, so maybe that's why there was the change in plans. While the shops are mostly targeted at trying to get you to buy their products, the rug shop did include a traditional carpet weaving demonstration, which was informative and kind of cool to see.
While she's beating like this, she thinks her husband. And then use scissors like this to cut these extra piles on the surface. When she cut the fibers like this, she thinks her mother-in-law. That's how Turkish women concentrate on making carpet. We use four fibers: wool, cotton, silk, and bamboo. It has this thickness, but this is not enough. It is too fine. It can be broken. What we need to do is to mix minimum 400 cocoon to make a thickness like this. And we put them here, and with the machine like that, we spin them out and we take the fibers out. You can see the fibers, but they turn into one. You see the silkworm like this. What are we doing with this? We sell it for cosmetic.
Remember that your plans are always subject to change. Sometimes things just happen out of our control and we're not able to get to all of the sites listed on the tour itinerary.
So here behind me is Uchisar Castle. And you can see all the buildings below and some built into the side of it too. And then they have lots of sites here where you can take pictures. They have lots of spots set up where you can pose and take nice Instagram pictures here. Lookout for Pigeon Valley, aptly named for all the pigeons that they tried to attract so that their droppings would fertilize their crops in the valley. And there's a nice view of the Uchisar Castle.
Tour, we asked the driver to just drop us off at a mall that we were passing by. This local mall is just 2 kilometers from our hotel. There's a taxi stand there. We had previously taken a taxi from there to our hotel. We knew that the ride was 3 minutes long, pretty direct, and cost 40 lira. After buying what we needed from the mall, we went to the same taxi stand and set out for our hotel. We pull away from the curb and he starts driving so slowly on this bizarre and meandering path. Look at my Google timeline maps from this day. He was going so slow that he had his hazard lights on and is driving pretty much in the shoulder of the road while other cars pass by. So using Google Translate, Tony's asking this driver, why are you going so slow? And he's saying something like, oh, the car's broken, I can't go any faster. We asked him, why are you driving this way? And again, he said something like, oh, the car's broken, I can't drive that way, there's too many hills. So Tony says, listen, we know this trip costs 40 lira, we're not gonna be paying you anything extra just because you're driving slow or taking weird detours. We're only paying you 40 lira and that's it. He then stops the car at this random roundabout and says that we have to walk the rest of the way and the cost is 40 lira. We argued with him back and forth, telling him no, it's 40 lira to take us to our hotel, and since he hasn't taken us there yet, we're not gonna pay him the full amount. This went on for a little while, going back and forth. Eventually he let us go, but we did have to walk the rest of the way to our hotel. Normally, I wouldn't mind walking a little bit to get the rest of the way there, but again, I was pregnant at the time, most of this walk is uphill, and I was exhausted from the day. Finally, we get to our hotel and they tell us that our new room is ready. We had enjoyed our first few nights at this hotel so much, we decided to extend our stay and splurge on a bigger room. This was the family suite, so it was a lot bigger, and yes, also included a bathtub jacuzzi, so that was wonderful, and I'm glad that our day did get to end on a really good note. In conclusion, the challenges that we face while traveling are often that thing that makes the trip unforgettable. Thank you for watching this episode, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye for now.
This cat is meowing during my whole video.